Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. We are currently down in Gilbert, where any moment now, I'm going to go ahead and set up a little line that's going to bring some fish over here. And then we're going to bring the meat from here to the train station, then up to Philadelphia, then over to Fargo, and then eventually back to Philly, and eventually back to Gilbert. But it's interesting looking at Gilbert's Airfield, because there's currently 78 people. There's 78 people that want to go to Philadelphia right now. And that's kind of wild to me. And then looking up in Philadelphia, there's 53 people that want to go to Gilbert. So what that says is that we need more planes, because the planes are full. The planes, I think, can each carry 5 people. So we're going to just duplicate this and go for 12 planes and see what that does for us. In time, I'm sure we can reduce the number because the planes get bigger, but for now, we'll sort of leave it be. And I guess for now, we're going to go ahead and set up this little system with the fishery here, which can produce 300 fish, which will then in turn produce about 150 meat. So we don't actually need to go too crazy with this, which is probably for the best. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a truck station. It just needs a single platform. And we'll go ahead and put that platform on the right side. We'll make it 30 meters long and we'll swing it around. And I basically want to put it sort of right on this little intersection. Right about there, I think, is pretty solid. So that's where that's going to live. And then what we'll do is get a truck unload. In fact, no, we won't get a truck unload stop. We'll come over here. We'll get ourselves, I guess, well, I guess we could technically do 2 platforms. It doesn't have to be too crazy. But what we'll do with this is I'm going to put it right, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flatten the terrain first, just to make sure that this is sort of exactly how I want it to be. In fact, I want to completely flatten this area because I have some ideas for what I want to do here. And then we'll smooth these bits out so it looks a little bit less ugly. And then what we'll do is we're going to put this guy right here, and I'm going to configure this with some longer platforms, because my thinking is we can do an entrance on one side, an entrance on the other side, and generally just have traffic flow a little bit better by having the entrances on either side. So what we'll do is grab ourselves a little country road and just do this right here, and we'll do, I guess we can get away with this right here. We can have them sort of just come straight in like that. So that's not too crazy. That should do the job and should be fantastic. And then all we need to do is, well, I was going to say that what we could do is have this, actually we might be able to get away with just one line here. I was going to say, because we're bringing 4 fish for every 2 meat, but I guess we have it, pick up 4 fish, bring it over, pick up 2 meat, take it to the station, then go pick up 4 fish. It's only running empty from the station to the fishery, which seems pretty good to me, so I think we are going to do that. So we need to create a new line that goes from Gilbert South, goes up to Gilbert West, and then goes to Main Street. And we'll go ahead and call this road cargo. It is going to be Gilbert, and it is going to be fish to food to train is what we'll call that. And then the Gilbert lines are this lovely, beautiful dark green. So we'll go ahead and grab it right there, and we just get some vehicles, and that'll be kind of fantastic. So we'll go in here. We'll get ourselves some cargo vehicles. We did get these new ones right here, which are 25 miles per hour, which is the same speed as the Benz trucks. Although, do they carry more? So the Tarpaulin carries 6. It doesn't carry. So the Benz trucks really are the best ones to go for here, which is fine by me. We'll go ahead and grab 10 of them for now. That should be okay. We'll get them in this lovely green color, and we'll put them on the Gilbert fish to food to train, and that should be fine. So this guy is immediately producing fish. This guy will produce meat, and then they'll get loaded onto the train. And I guess we take a look and see what we can do here. So goods down to Burbank and Gilbert. if I look at this line, which is what I need to do. I don't need to look at the vehicles. I need to look at the line. Can I load up on meat? I absolutely can. So hold on a second. When I get down to Gilbert, load up on meat, and then in Philadelphia, unload meat, and then load up on food. Right? No, we don't load up on food. Wait a minute. Gilbert, hold on a minute. Gilbert isn't accepting food. Oh... It was. I'm almost certain that Gilbert was accepting food. I'm not imagining that, am I? I guess regardless, we are going to be able to produce more food, right? So the meat that we're taking up to Philly will get dropped off and turned into more food for Philadelphia. So I guess that works. So now we have a truck coming into Gilbert West. Of course, the game auto-saves the second I start talking, as is per usual. But we have a truck coming in. I've told the trucks to have a minimum stop time of 30 seconds as well, which might be unnecessary, but this guy's going to drop that off and should pick up some meat, which it isn't doing. Why? Why are you not doing? Oh, no. Oh, dear. Now, what are you doing? Oh, you're picking up some meat. Okay, so that's fine, I guess. I'm not sure why... the other trucks aren't doing it, but there we go. So you're picking up a little bit of meat. I feel like the minimum stop time probably doesn't need to be 30 seconds. It can probably be more like 10, maybe 20 seconds. We'll say 10 and see how that goes. That way the trucks do at least stop to pick up a little something. If production's particularly slow, they'll move on and do their thing. So that should be fine. They come in, they drop stuff off. They're going to head back to the station, drop off some meat. It'll get picked up by the train. I'm not really expecting a miracle here. I will be quite honest, although I'm curious. This guy can produce 300. What is the current frequency of this line? Or sorry, the rate is 42. Okay. Let me duplicate the vehicles. That should give us 84. And then let me duplicate them again, and that should give us 168 as the frequency. Or the rate, or whatever it is. So looking at this line now, it's about 170, which is fine. That's kind of what we're looking for. This will hopefully be able to cope, although I do think we should probably configure this with a bit of a longer platform, and then possibly some buildings as well, just for that bit of additional storage. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll do, a nice building right there, a nice building. We'll just sort of dot the entire thing with a bunch of these buildings, I guess. That's not where I wanted it, though. Let's get rid of you and do this properly the entire way down to there. And that looks all right. I am thinking that we'll get one here as well. And that should be fine. That should be totally fine. And if I really wanted to as well, I could throw some street access here. And by if I really wanted to, of course, I mean I'm going to do this. A little bit of street access right there with a medium country road, so sort of coming out, and we'll go over this way towards the trees, and then we'll go straight down to that road right about there. And let's just try and get it to be a nice sort of straight thing. That looks pretty good. So having done that, this now loops around in a relatively interesting way. That's not terribly inefficient, but what I think I want to do is get myself a waypoint, and I want to put the waypoint there because my hope with this line is after Gilbert Main Street, we want it to go to this waypoint, so there, and that way the trucks are going to come around, they're going to, go straight through and then out towards the meat processing plant again. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. We could have had the vehicles coming in on this side and it would have been just fine. But I like using waypoints. I think it's kind of cool. Oh, now Gilbert's accepting food again. So the population has gone up, which is helping us out there. This guy is picking up a whole bunch of meat and getting ready to take it back to Philadelphia. So I guess what I'm going to do is I am going to set up a little system here. I think what we'll do is manage this line in Philadelphia. It is going to pick up some food as well, which I don't know how good that's necessarily going to be, but we'll see how it goes. And I suppose, does Burbank want food? It doesn't. Okay. I might regret this, but I'm going to give it a shot. So yeah, we're going to pick up food in Philly, and in Gilbert, we're going to drop it off. In Burbank, we are not going to drop it off. And I think we probably want to manage these vehicles as well. So I'm going to go ahead and sell those two, because that leaves me with this one train. And I want to modify this guy with... I kind of want this thing. I kind of want the Chungus. So we're going to throw the Chungus at the front of this train. We're going to take out these wagons, and we're going to go for just some nice big boxcars, the same ones that we had, but, you know, new ones. We'll get them in that lovely green color. We'll go for a capacity of 180. We'll duplicate. And I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to duplicate again. We'll go for 4 trains in that line and see how it goes. And that guy should be able to haul a whole bunch. That is a really, really powerful train. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how that goes. We should be able to move a pretty considerable amount of meat down to this station now that we have all these trucks coming through. Although they are stopping for a hot minute right here, which I feel like they're not supposed to be doing. Gilbert South, how long do you stop for? Okay, so they're gonna... okay. Well, fair enough. I'll tell them to load until full, and then we can just get them out of there. Maybe the maximum stop time comes down a little bit as well, so it's maybe 20 seconds for a maximum stop, and that'll hopefully help them move along a little bit. They should fill up as well. That shouldn't really be too much of a problem. I mean, this thing is producing quite a bit. We're not shipping, you know, 300 units of fish, so we should be all right. You know, I will say it's very interesting that this airport is still as busy as it is. We have so many planes moving back and forth here, but they're all full. They're completely full and making money as well, which is kind of wild when you think about it. Planes, for me, usually don't make much money in this game, so that's actually really, really cool. And to be quite honest, I do... You know, I added these other terminals to Philadelphia. I'm kind of wondering where else we take planes to. And I'm thinking maybe Yonkers. You know, we have got a... We don't have any growth here, but we do have a train station here. So if we wanted to, we could move some tools up this way. We could move some fuel up this way. Might not be the worst idea in the world. It really might not be. We've even got, you know, Wichita Falls wants some construction material and some food. We could make... Now, hold on a minute. Wait. Hold on a minute. So this will make alcohol. This will make massive amounts of food. Do we have any... We have a farm right here. Is it producing? So its production is maxed out. So that farm is not going to be good for food production right now. But, I mean, I could probably move some grain up here, right? We could use these farms near Fargo, load the stuff on a train, take it up here, drop it off in Yonkers, and then turn it into alcohol, turn it into food, and take that food back into Wichita Falls. I'm actually kind of here for that. I'm kind of on board with that idea. Or this guy. I mean, full production is great. We could just use this. Perhaps that might be an idea as well. It'd be a bit of a shorter line. Actually, we could use this farm down here by Salinas. We could take some grain from here to this station and then essentially go all the way up, you know, past Laredo, out past Hialeah, straight to Yonkers. We drop off the grain. We bring it down to Wichita Falls, turn it into alcohol, bring it over towards Yonkers again, turn it into food, and then back to Wichita Falls. And then maybe Wichita Falls is where we put another airport. That seems like a great idea to me. So let's figure out how exactly we're going to do this, because it's going to be a bit of work. Although I suppose if I was to give myself a little street right here and do this, all right, so we can have a road that comes straight down the side of the station, and then we'll sort of continue that road in a bit of a straight line to, I think that's a straight line right there. It looks like a straight line. We can curve it sort of through this this valley, and then we want to bring it sort of straight through the valley. It's not going to do a tunnel, is it? It could. It probably could do a tunnel. Let's take a little bit of a look and see what that would look like. I actually don't mind that too much. I'm going to be quite honest. I think a tunnel there is probably fine. This thing is going to be able to level up though, so I don't want to block too much of its space. So maybe actually we go ahead and get rid of the tunnel and we'll just go up and over the valley. And there we go. We have all of this connected. We have some new roads. It looks kind of great. So what we need to do now is get ourselves a road depot. So a truck station right there. We'll go for, I mean, what is this going to be bringing in? This is just going to be bringing in grain. So all we need is a single platform. And we'll go ahead and do a platform on the, we'll do a platform on the left, actually. Well, actually, no, we'll do one on the right, and that should be fine. Gives us a little bit of space between the two intersections here, and we'll go for, I want to say right about there. Should be all right. We can extend this platform just in case we end up with a massive amount of stuff, right? That's probably the word I'm looking for, just stuff. And this should be good. So that looks all right. That looks like a proper little industrial space. So grain comes in. The grain is going to be taken down to this space, which is going to need another one of these stations. So we'll go for right about there. And I'm not going to bother expanding it just yet. This place is going to need one of these stations as well. So we'll just go ahead and put it, I want to say right about, I think, there. And then we'll just go into Wichita Falls with a truck unload stop, and it can go, honestly, in a couple of places. We'll do one there, we'll do one there, and the trucks can sort of come in, drop half off there, and then head back onto the cycle. Because honestly, I'm probably going to use the same trucks for this entire, well, maybe. Hold on a minute. What is the ratio here? 2 grain to 1 alcohol? Then 1 alcohol to 2 food. Interesting. So pick up, say, 4 grain, then 2 alcohol, then drop it off, pick up 4 food, drop it off, and then run empty back to here. That's so it would go from here to there, to there, to there, to there. Yeah, maybe we don't use one set of trucks. That's not a very nice loop at all. Or maybe we do. Maybe we, because the outcome in the end is the same, right? It's going to be, 2 grain. So pick up 4, turn it into 2, turn it into 4, turn it into 0, pick up 4, turn it into 2, turn it into, yeah. So we could use the same set of trucks. It's just not going to be a very pretty line in the slightest. So let's see if I can do this in one go. It is going to be Yonkers East. That was a misclick. It's going to be Yonkers East, where we're picking up a whole bunch of grain. And then we go from Yonkers East over to Wichita Falls North, where we're going to be unloading a bunch of grain and picking up alcohol. We are then going to come back over this way to Yonkers South, where we're going to be unloading alcohol and then picking up a whole bunch of food. And then we're going from Yonkers South into Wichita Falls, Laurel Street, and into Center Street, where the trucks are then going to go all the way back to good old Yonkers East. And that seems fine. So we'll call this, I guess, it's road cargo. It's going to be WICHITA. It's Wichita, and we'll call it, I guess it's just food production, right? Because it's just one big contained thing. And the color for this line, I mean, let's go for, I kind of like this blue. I feel like we haven't done a whole lot of blue. So we'll go for that, and that'll be fine. We'll get some vehicles on that shortly. We kind of need the train to run this line first. And honestly, I'm wondering if I could use the same train line that comes in here. Not multiple. So if I was to go and say this goods to Philly line and manage you, in Little Rock, are you able to pick up? You are not able to pick up grain. Okay. So it is going to have to be a new train unless I add a bunch of wagons to that train, but I don't think that's going to be a good idea. So what we'll do, I mean, I need to set this up as well, but what we'll do is we'll set up a line from here going all the way up to Yonkers. So right up to here. And now that's all on the wrong side of the track right now, which is a little bit frustrating. So in Yonkers, can I put you on platform 1? That works. Shouldn't really be a problem sharing the platform. I think that'll be okay. And what we'll do is say in Salinas, you are loading up on grain. In Yonkers, you are unloading grain. And we'll go ahead and just call this, I guess, it's train cargo. And honestly, we'll call it Yonkers, I suppose. Well, no, it's production in Salinas. So Salinas, and it's going to be grain to Yonkers. And that should be fine. So that's going to be this color right there. We can get a train to do that. And that will be the start of a production lineup here, which should be absolutely beautiful. And there we go. We have the Chungus that's going to be pulling all of these wagons to, I guess, Yonkers. It's heading down to Salinas immediately, which is whatever. We don't have grain in Salinas, but that's to be expected. We can totally fix that, though. We'll just go ahead and get ourselves a truck station, and we'll just go ahead and throw it, I guess, honestly, right about there is probably fine. And then all we need to do is a new line from here going to, well, I guess here. Doesn't really matter too much. And that is going to be road cargo. It is Salinas, and it will be grain to train is what it's going to be. All right. And then we just need to make that the same color as everything else, which is right here. Get some vehicles, and it should get going. So let's take a look and see what we can do. We'll go. That's not a road depot at all. That's a road depot right there. So we're moving grain. The Ben's truck isn't going to do it. I guess we're just going to use the Tarpaulin truck, and I'm going to get like 10 of these things. So go for 10 of them. I'm going to make them, I want to say that color, or maybe a brown. I just want something that doesn't look super fancy. I'm in a mood for like a slightly understated color, which I think that is. So we're looking for road cargo. We're looking for Salinas grain to train. So that should now be running, and we should see grain production eventually start being a thing here. Although I guess it'll probably help if we have a bunch of these blue trucks heading out to manage the actual food production line. So let's go ahead and take a look at Salinas, which is right here. We do, in fact, have grain production as a thing. We have the train heading up to do its thing as well. So we should now see food production in Wichita Falls, which is very exciting because the whole plan here is, of course, to get a airport in Wichita Falls. So let me go and get a little street right here. Let me go and get a medium country road and bring it sort of straight over a bit like this. And I'm going to bulldoze these streets because my thinking is that what I really want to do is just put an airfield out there. So we want a passenger airfield. It is going to go, I guess, right about here is where we can put this thing, which is maybe a little close to the center of everything, but that should be all right. And so we got a couple of things being abandoned. That's all right. And I think this is fine. I think this is good. We can probably get a bit of a loop going around Wichita Falls. I think that's going to be a must-have, but I'm kind of excited about this. I just want more planes. I always get like this with this game. I always get like this. Once I start getting aircraft, it's all arguably downhill from, well, it's a plane. You probably don't want it to be downhill from there, but it's just downhill from there. I just start focusing on planes for a little bit. I'm going to apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to be trying to get a lot of these things in here just because I like them a lot. It's that simple. But for now, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get this loop in here and see if we can just get a bunch of people moving around Wichita Falls, getting towards the airport, just generally doing their thing. You're going to come over here. You're going to go over there, and there we go. So that's 11 stops. It's road passengers. It's Wichita, I guess, loop number 1. And then what we can do is just go ahead and get it to be the right color, which is here. And then we just need some vehicles. And I suppose we should probably add a road depot to Wichita Falls. So we'll go ahead and do right there. And we'll get ourselves a few of the Schneider BP or PB2s right there. And just like that, we have some new planes heading out of the hangar. We have ourselves an airline that goes all the way over to Wichita Falls. So here's hoping for good things. Here's hoping that goes well. And let's take a look at you. Do you have anything on board right now? This is the, oh, that's the plastic and steel line. So that's a yes. Yes, you do in fact have things on board. That right there is the other line that we're waiting on, which currently, of course, has nothing on board because it takes nothing back. But I'm sure eventually we'll find some things to put on that particular line. Also, this is ridiculous. What are you guys doing? What do you do? So you're picking things up. Okay. That's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of vehicles. That is a whole lot of vehicles. That is kind of ridiculous. It'd be kind of nice if I could, I don't know, do something else with this setup, because this just seems silly the way that's working. But I mean, I guess it's working, right? That's kind of the takeaway. It's silly, but it is also just kind of doing what I need it to do. Oh, now this might be a problem. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trains? No, these guys aren't stuck. We're 11, 12, 13, 14. There's a lot of trains that are a little bit stuck right now because it's taking so long to get through Philadelphia because of how Philadelphia has been set up. That is kind of a problem. I might need to completely rebuild the Philadelphia setup. We either need more platforms or we need to just do another station somewhere, which is entirely possible. There's also a ridiculous amount of goods waiting to go to Madison, Virginia. Wow. That is a lot. There's just a lot of stuff. I guess it makes sense, though, because all the trains have been waiting to get in here, so maybe we just change things up a little bit. Maybe what we do is move these guys. I feel like that's probably what we need to do, is move these so that the branching points are much further down the line. So let's give that a shot, I guess. Let's go into here. Let me get... Oh, we have high-speed tracks. Oh. Okay. Well, gonna have to use those at some point. But what I want to do is essentially go to parallel tracks, and I want to start right about here. And I'm just going to bring this all the way down, all the way past this, all the way to about here. And then that is where I reckon we want to do something like this, which I think we can just about get away with. There might not be quite enough room. There absolutely is enough room there. And right about there as well. So that's where this line right here is gonna have to go. Man, this is gonna be quite a bit of reworking, but I think it is completely necessary. So this road needs to go as well. And then this, let me let these trains kind of move out of here a little bit. There we go. This needs to go, and all of this needs to go. This is going to be a total pain to kind of rebuild, but it's necessary. So this all comes back as well. And now we have this track sort of running along everything, which is okay. We want to go in and get another section of track, and we're just going to do that essentially, which, I mean, it didn't run parallel, but that's okay. We want to do the same thing here. And now that gives us this massive stretch of track where the trains can kind of, branch off and go where they need to go in Philadelphia. The next plan is essentially doing the same thing with this other section of track. So we're going to come down to, let's see, right about here. And that runs nice and parallel. And this is essentially going to run a massive distance as well. And I don't know if this is necessarily going to do what I would want it to do. I don't know if this is necessarily going to solve all of the problems that we have, but we're going to find out, basically. That's kind of where we're at. We're just going to find out. So this comes down. It isn't going to run parallel because it goes through a road, and that's okay. So you come down to there. And that doesn't seem like enough track, I'm going to be quite honest. So we'll grab you. We'll come down to about here. And that seems like a good stretch of track, but I guess we can go further, so we will. And we'll go to about, I want to say right in here. It should be kind of perfect. So now that we have that going, we'll just, branch this over to here and take you over to construction not possible. Interesting. There we go. So we have this connected. We have this connected right back here. They all just run into Philadelphia. And I guess what we do is we'll go and remove this signal. We'll go in and say auto signal. And we'll replace everything. Well, no, we'll just do auto signals. I'm going to do them about 250 meters apart, starting right about there and starting right about there. And that should give us signals the entire way down here, which is absolutely perfect. Let's see. We have signals here. We have a signal right there. I do kind of need to move you, I think. I'm going to need to move you as well. So let's take a look. We have signals. We want you. And we want it to be auto signals off for a second. We want a signal right there. And I think we're going to want a signal right about here as well. And that should be okay. So these guys are coming down. We'll get a signal sort of here as well, just before that road. They continue all the way down there. We'll get a signal right about here as well. We'll get rid of this one. And we'll put that signal just before all of this as well. So right about there. And that should be fine. I guess what we do next is turn auto signals back on and get them going in the opposite direction, which they now, I think, are. Yep, absolutely. We need to do the same back here, though. So we are going to need a signal starting. I don't really want to do there. I guess we'll start signals here. And that should be fine. Yeah, that should be okay. So that should eventually fix a lot of the problems that Philadelphia is having from this side. It gives the trains a lot more room to come in and sort of do their thing. In terms of where the lines are, that might be a bit of a problem. That might be a bit of a problem. We have a lot of overlapping in here, and to be quite honest, I can't tell what is supposed to be where. Although I think everything is just still going where it's supposed to go. So we might be fine. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what the trains do. So this is working. We have this passenger line using the outermost track and heading about its business, and that's kind of fantastic. I've yet to see any trains using this sensor section, but that's, I guess, to sort of be expected because they're probably held back quite a bit, and that's okay, I guess. But for the most part, everything around Philly does actually seem to be moving now. And also, this is very exciting. We have 180 grain heading up to Yonkers, so that's working as well. And apparently trains aren't necessarily moving as quickly as I'd like, but they are still moving, which is better than they were doing before. What is this bright pink line? That's what I want to know. What is this bright pink line that we have in here? Is it a passenger line? It is. It's Philly to Glendale. Okay, so it does have a few trains on it, so it is a relatively busy line. I'm not sure I've seen any of those trains come by anytime recently. I think that's probably one, isn't it? Yeah, there's 22 people on board. That's a little bit miserable. I'm gonna be quite honest. That is a little bit miserable. We might need to look into improving that line, but at the very least, Philadelphia is moving a little bit better, and that's all I needed it to do. Up this way, production is still going on, which is great. And I mean, these trucks are going to be going around doing nothing right now, but in time, we should have that new train coming up here. I'm not exactly sure where it is. Oh my God, trains are, there's a bit of a tailback going in here as well. Oh my God, I have too many trains. I have far too many trains. That's what it is. Far too many trains. This guy is going to go in there and stop. Can I change this up a little bit? Let me get a waypoint. Let me get a waypoint. Let me get the one where they, you know, they use their horn when they pass. I'm going to put the waypoint there. And I'm going to put a waypoint there. And then what I want to do is I want to go to this guy. And I want to manage that line. And so when it goes from Salinas, I need to add a station or a stop and say go there. And then when it's coming back from Yonkers, I need it to go there. So it uses this track over here. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad, or if that's going to help me in the slightest. But I think sending the train out that way, it means if anything's blocking the other path, it can, you know, move along, essentially. Although this guy is blocking that section right now, which is a little bit frustrating. But there we go. So this guy's going to pull in there, probably drop some stuff off. This train is just going to go out and around because he's a bit of a smart bean, which is good. That's, again, that's kind of what we're looking for. So you're going to stop. You're going to keep going. And that's all I needed. So that's going to be 180 grain heading up to Yonkers. I'm kind of curious how much money it's going to make. We also have an absolute ton, probably considerably more than a ton, of grain waiting to go back to Yonkers. So we might want to look into that. That might be something we want to deal with. Might want to get our hands on another one of these trains. But I do want to see how much money it makes first, because we have to remember that train runs empty the entire way back. Unless I throw something else in there, which I guess... What could I put in there? I could put... What is that? Is that oil? That's oil sand, right? Do we need oil sand down here at all? Not really. I don't really see any need for it down this way. So oil sand is not going to be something we get our hands on. So for this grain delivery, we're looking at $11.6 million. You know, funnily enough, that happens to make me want another train, so we're going to get that. Good old train 42 can go and pick up a whole bunch of, wait a minute, what? There's 102 people wanting to go between Philadelphia and Wichita. Are you kidding me? These planes are actually working. Give me 12 of them. Absolutely give me 12 of them. Now who's, oh God, who's complaining about something? What are you doing? What have you done? Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. This is, it's a bit of a pickle, huh? It's a bit of a pickle. Can I turn, you can see what's happened here, right? You can totally see what's happened. This signal is causing me problems. It needs to go away. And now that that signal's gone, trains won't stop and block this entire access way, which is good. So everything's been sorted out. We've got that new big Chungus train heading down here to pick up a whole bunch of, my God, there's 319 of it waiting around. Yeah, we need to get that moving. 100%. We need to get in here, pick that up and get out of here. I'm actually very tempted to make that train even longer, but again, that might be a little bit excessive. Oh, hello. We just got the Ford Model 77 Tarpaulin truck. We also got the side stake one, and we got whatever this is as well. That's kind of exciting. I've got to be quite honest. I'm very excited about that. I'm also wondering if I could, by chance, move the Philly goods up to whatever line elsewhere. So it's this line right here. I'm wondering if I could move that to maybe be on a different, I don't know, maybe a different platform. Because if I could put it over here, I could have it come in one of these extended lines, and that would probably make it a bit more efficient, because I feel like these trains are regularly getting stuck behind a bunch of traffic. So I'm going to manage those vehicles for 1. I'm going to duplicate them for 2, or duplicate one of them for 2. And I guess what I'm going to try and do is get myself a section of track. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this, but it's going to come out. This is going to need to be turned into an electric section of track as well. But I guess my thinking here is that this would sort of go like this, and then sort of down and over like this, right? So that would mean that the train can it can come in, it sort of cuts over to the left a little bit, it goes straight into there, it comes out on the same section of track, and then that same section of track needs to, I guess, merge. Oh, this is going to get really weird if I do it the way I was about to do it there. Okay, so this guy comes over like this instead, is what I'm thinking it does. That little section can go away. That little section can go away. And what we'll do is have this just sort of merge like that. So the train comes in, and then it sort of cuts over here. It goes onto that section of track. it comes out and it just goes on to the section of track right here, meaning that signal probably needs to go away. And then what we can do is move the signals back a little bit. So the signals, no auto signaling. We want to go here, which we have. And I mean, we're kind of going to want to go here, I think, which is maybe going to cause some issues. I'm not too sure, but I think that should be all right. I think that'll work out. So we need to edit the Philadelphia station and essentially put electricity on this this little center section right here, which I don't think that's causing any issues for us, so that's fine. So now that line's been moved to platform 1, let's just see if my idea worked. It looks like it did. So those electric trains are now going to be using one of these extended sections of track to get in there and do their thing. I'm not 100% sure that's going to work out too well for us, especially with that signal still being right there, but I'm curious. I'm just curious to see what ends up happening, or if anything ends up happening, because we might have just made things worse. There's a very distinct chance that we've made things worse. I'm also wondering what way you're wanting to go. So you're waiting for a free path. You're going to Philadelphia. No, you are not. You can go that way towards Madison. There we go. So off towards Madison it goes. We should have, this is one of the electric trains right here, so it should come in and go to the right, which it is doing. And then we'll just keep an eye on this guy and see what exactly happens, because I just want to make sure that everything works out in here. I want to make sure that the train actually manages to go where it needs to go, which is straight through there onto the single section of track. And it should then have the opportunity to load up on a considerable amount of goods, which it is doing. And then it just heads back out, and it should cut down to the right here, which again, it's absolutely doing. So that's good. That's working as intended. So I suppose what I'm going to do is manage the vehicle, and I'm going to manage all of them actually. And I'm just going to add more boxcars to them. I think mostly because I can. So I'm going to rip out all the boxcars. The capacity is 168 right now across all of these. So we'll go ahead and just get rid of all. We'll go to the boxcar right here. And I guess we'll make the boxcar, I mean, it was blue before. What is this moving? This is goods, right? So we'll go ahead and make it, I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? We'll go for like that color, maybe? That might be a bit much, might be a bit strong. What about this like super dark blue? That's gonna be way too saturated, but we'll go for it. And we'll go for a capacity instead of 168. We could go 180. We could go 204, 216, 228, 240. 260 meters might be way too long for that, though. That might be a little bit much. There is a solid chance, but I guess we'll go for it, and I guess we'll see what happens. We'll do it live, and if it goes horribly wrong, I can just go in and modify the train to not be 260 meters long, but 22 million to modify all of those. That blue is very, very, very blue, but I kind of like it. I do kind of like it, and I do think it's important that we start getting some faster trains in here as well. So looking back up towards Yonkers, we are actually making food now, and it does look like we are moving it over towards Wichita Falls. We have a good amount of grain still waiting around as well, and we have a train waiting to bring more of it in, which is kind of great news as well. So you are sitting there loading up on goods, which is to be expected. That's what we need you to be doing. As soon as you're full, you're going to head out, let that train in, and everything's going to be kind of perfect. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go to this line right here. I'm going to go ahead and manage the vehicles and replace them, I guess, with the Ford, I think. So the Benz Tarpaulin is 25 miles an hour, capacity 7. The Ford is 25, capacity 8. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and replace all of these with the Ford, which admittedly looks kind of fantastic. I love how that looks. I kind of need to go in and replace all of my road vehicles, though, to be fair, which I'm not looking forward to doing. Because if I bring up the good old vehicle statistics here, and we go ahead and sort by age, we still have some, we have some 50-year-old horses running around Fargo right now. We have a lot of we have a lot of horses. Oh man. Okay, we might want to go down the line a little bit and replace some of these. So, what are you moving? I guess it doesn't matter. Replace you with the Ford. Let's replace all of you. Oh my god. Replace all of you with the. What is this line doing? What does this line do? This is slag to brick. Oh man, hold on a minute. Replace. There's a window back there somewhere. This one right here. I guess we can go with the side stakes one. So we'll do that. Salinas brick seems to be a flatbed as well, so we can go and manage those vehicles and replace those with the side stakes. We've got some old trains as well. We've got some 30-year-old trains, which is kind of wild. And $121 million later, and I have replaced every single one of my road vehicles with something a bit more modern. Every single cargo line is now using a Ford truck, which is fair enough. That's $121 million I'm never getting back, and it's probably thrown a lot of my cargo lines a little bit out of whack because they're not necessarily going to be balanced to deal with all of these Ford trucks. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if I start making money, although I do appear to be making money, which is great. That's kind of the goal here. We'll see if that continues, though. We'll see if that persists a little bit. I will say, 124 people wanting to get out of Wichita right now is kind of wild. I'm hoping we start getting our hands on some slightly larger planes in the not too distant future. And I'm also thinking we might need to get more. Let me see here. What is the throughput on this? It's a rate of 114 per year. What is the rate on you? 65. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and duplicate brings us up to 87, and another duplicate brings us to 109. That's going to work out quite well for us because it means we will have a little bit of excess, but not so much that we're going to be losing massive amounts of grain because it just sits in Yonkers. Now, this is a little something I forgot I could do, but what I've gone and done is actually set this up to have a rate of 630, which is actually not quite what I was looking for, but I've set this up so that Terminal 1 here actually acts as a like a secondary terminal almost, which is kind of wild, to be honest. So a lot of these trucks are going to circle around, but what I can do is I can manage this line and say that Terminal 1 is, I can't remember what it's exactly called, but you can see there's like a faint green there. And what that means is we're going to see some of these trucks, you know, once this kind of figures itself out a little bit, we'll see some of these trucks come in and use this lower platform here, these guys, for example, to go ahead and pick up some iron, which is good. So we have two trucks loading up for the same line at the same time, which, to be quite frank, is what I now want to go ahead and do over this way as well. Although I don't necessarily have a second platform to do that with. So we'll configure this guy. We'll go ahead and just bring this back a decent little chunk right there. And we'll go ahead and put some platforms over on this side as well. And what we can now do, I think, is if I go to this line and manage, I can say in Lower Phoenix, you're going to use that platform as sort of a holdover, a fall, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, we should now be able to have two of the trucks load up at the same time. And that's kind of perfect. And honestly, that's something we should probably do elsewhere as well. We should do that with the, I guess, with the plastic. So if I go and I say, oh, how am I going to do this? Let's see, grain, plastic to goods. Manage the line. So let's see, where are we looking? Little Rock sidings. I guess we're going to say platform 1 as kind of a holdover. I don't know how well that's necessarily going to work. It looks a little bit rough, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. Can I just use all of the platforms as a potential way to just pick stuff up? Let's just see what happens. I mean, this doesn't end up being too busy at any one time necessarily, but it should help the trucks kind of filter through, I guess. right? So this, I mean, they're going to go up there. But if it does get particularly busy, they can come down and use this lower platform as well. So that's good. And that actually, to me, that says that what I could potentially do here is, can I do the same thing with a drop-off? So grain to plastic, for example, manage line, Little Rock sidings. What if I just tell you to drop it off? Oh, there's only one extra drop-off here. Okay. So what if the extra drop-off was platform... Wait, can I do it? Can I have multiple? I absolutely can. Okay, so what if we do it that way? Can these guys now come in, and if one platform's super busy, they can just go elsewhere to drop stuff off? It kind of looks like it. And I don't really hate the idea of letting the game figure out where stuff's going to get dropped off. I don't mind that at all, to be quite honest. So we'll kind of allow that to happen. It might help the production around here a little bit. And then down this way, I mean, we don't really need to do too much there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I do think maybe getting a tunnel here so that the trains aren't blocking all that traffic could be an idea as well. But that is totally something I forgot about. And honestly, it's probably something I need to use a lot more. You know, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that alternate terminal thing is something that was part of the reason I came back to Transport Fever 2. I don't know if I talked about it at the start of the series, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading about it before I sat down to play this again, and that was something that had me really interested because it's like efficient, right? It's kind of efficient and kind of cool that that's a thing. I'm also wondering if I could be so bold as to set up a little bit of an alternate terminal thing over here as well. So if I go and get some high-speed track, not parallel, we'll go from here to there. All right. And then we'll go and get rid of this signal. We'll go ahead and replace it with a signal right about here. Could I go to this guy and go to this line, manage the line, and say that in Yonkers, it also uses Terminal 2 if necessary? Seems like I absolutely can. And then if I go to this guy, manage line, and say in Yonkers, you will use Terminal 2 as well. So essentially, both trains can go to either side. So if this place has a train in there on either side, the other incoming train will use the other side. That just seems good to me. That seems like it makes sense. Also, surprising and concerning is that this is now empty. That's actually kind of wild. This is emptying out as well. Again, kind of wild. We have a lot of the vehicles down here now doing their thing, which is fair enough. I guess that's fair enough. They're backing up a little bit, but it's definitely making me definitely making me some money. So not really going to complain too much about that. I just wish the traffic would, use more than just the one lane. It's like I'm playing City Skylines all over again. Oh, now this might be pretty good. We might be about to see an example of this train coming in, crossing over, and using the alternate platform because the one it was going to go to is occupied. So that's pretty good. 11.6 million. It drops everything off. It heads out. One of the trains will have to wait for the other. I'm pretty sure it's going to be this guy waits for that train to come out, but that's fine. That's actually really cool. That is a really, really cool system that you can set up these alternate terminals. I love that. I actually love that. That's insanely cool. So we're gonna have to play around with that a little bit more. 100%. We're gonna have to play around with that a little bit more. For example, what if we said this train? Wait, that's to Madison. Never mind. So that's just a brick delivery. Oh my God. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me manage you. And let me say that from Detroit, you are going to go that way. Wait a minute. Why is that having some problems? Oh, it's an electric train. Oh, that's not an electrified platform. That's what's going on. Okay. And then from Madison, I need it to go to this signal right here. But I need this entire section of platform to be electrified. So let's very quickly do that. Oh, Philadelphia now accepts goods as a cargo type, apparently, and also machinery. That's actually very exciting because that means that we can take some of the goods that are already being delivered to Philadelphia and just deliver them to Philadelphia. So, I mean, if we have a look here, goods are wanted where exactly? Philadelphia definitely did. I did say I wanted goods. Am I blind? Am I just not seeing this? Where is it? Oh, I can't. I am actually genuinely struggling a little bit to see where it wants the goods. The demand is 3 right now, so it's really not much. So it's probably 1 building. There's like 1 shop in here somewhere that's going to want these goods. And I'm sure watching this, you've spotted exactly where it is. I, on the other hand, have no idea. Oh, it's right there, right in the middle. That tower is the place that wants goods. It's a commercial building. So I guess we could look into moving goods up there. I feel like we probably are already, right? There's no way we're bringing goods into Philadelphia and they're not getting moved out. So, for example, the line that goes here is Philly Bricks. If I manage that line, it's not set up to not move goods. Does it cover that building? It does. So, yeah, there is a chance that goods will get moved into Philadelphia. Machines, on the other hand, obviously won't because we're not making them anywhere, but that's fine. We could make them nearby with some steel and some silver, which we might very well do. We do have a silver mill nearby, so we just need a silver mine, and then we could kind of go to town. So I suppose with all of the chaos that I have caused today, we can go ahead and leave it there for the time being. I think we've managed to do some good. We found the alternate platforms thing. We've managed to do the same thing with the airport as well, which means that we have all of the various terminals up and running. The planes can kind of go wherever they need to go, and that's kind of exciting. We're moving a lot of people around by aircraft, and I kind of love that. I kind of really love that. We're moving a lot of stuff around. We have ridiculous amounts of money. So I suppose at this point, my goal and my hope is that we can continue to expand Philadelphia, and we can continue to deal with the needs that Philadelphia has, which does appear to be a growing need for machinery and less so for goods, but we'll try and get all that in there at some point as well. I definitely want to see this place grow. I also remember I need to reconnect this road down here, so just very quickly, let's try and do that, I suppose. So this is going to come down a little something like this is just fine. And then from that intersection, we want to come straight across like that. And that's a lot. There's a lot going on there. That is a very busy road. That is a very busy road. I wouldn't want to try and cross that with how many trains. Yeah, with trains stopping on the road, it's gonna complicate things. All right, definitely gonna complicate things. Same with here as well. I didn't realize we'd been doing that. Yeah, we'll continue to do that. All right, yeah. We're going to leave it there for today. Thank you very much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.